One thing I'd like to talk about with you all is what one of the things that Dan says is the universe is a pull, not a push. And I've really struggled with this over the past year because, well, what it essentially means is that if you push your agenda on the world, you're only going to get so far. But if you act in a way that is inherently interesting and has value, it will attract people to you and things to you. And this is diametrically opposed. Alysse, we worked in television. And I mean, tonight at 11. I mean, that was what we said day after day after day. We're pushing, and it's highly ineffective because when was the last time you saw one of these promos on TV? You know, man decapitated on I-5, the story at 11. It's like, I don't want to watch that. But getting my head around this idea of the universe as a pull has been really a fun and at times frustrating transformation. But at least I'd love your thoughts on this because this is something that, and Libby as well, we're all from TV, and this is not what the TV world does.
Um, I don't even watch TV anymore. Is that okay to say out loud? Like, I don't remember the
Yeah.
last time I watched news. So I don't even remember the promos. But yes, I definitely know about being in a push environment. I was in advertising for 25 years. That is push, 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 right? And then wait, I got to push some more. I used to have a joke as a salesperson that I keep calling until they get a restraining order. And I kind of actually, how all jokes are kind of true. Like I kind of actually meant it. Like if you don't tell me no, I'll keep calling. And if you do tell me no, I'll call and try to talk you out of it. So that has been a very interesting and different way to approach things. However, Dan pointed out to me that with my project, The Sober Curator, that I launched during the pandemic, for whatever reason, my mindset around that project has followed the work P2P source code exactly. I don't do any push. I've not ever recruited a sober curator. I don't spend money on ads. I do publish the things on the website and then push them out on the social media channels because it's a necessary evil, but most of the traffic to the site comes from search, like a significant amount, like 80%. And that project is now 3.5 years old, and it's in its toddler years, but it's out of the terrible twos. And right now, last week we had our monthly business meeting, and let me be clear, they're all volunteers. I'm not paying any of them to do anything. We're all just working on creating this really incredible hub of lifestyle content that is curated specifically for the people in the alcohol free recovery communities. And we had the most significant business meeting I think we've ever had. Tamar can back me up on this. And it was interesting because normally we start the meeting off by everyone chiming in on what they're working on, what's new with them. And then we go around the room and everybody just talks about themselves. And that's fun. And we all have egos. So that works. But for this last meeting, I gave the homework assignment of everybody read somebody else's work and come prepared to talk about somebody else's work and what you liked out of it, all in a very positive way. And I was like, is this assignment, first of all, are they going to do it? Second of all, is everybody going to read the same one article by one person and then it's going to look like favoritism? Like, how will I make sure the love is equal? Like, I got all wrapped up in my brain and then I just like let go and to see what would happen. And it was beautiful. I think I shed a tear or two, which I think unfortunately has been documented on the Zoom recording. But that is pull. And when there's nothing stronger than pull, right? There just isn't. When someone is trying to tell me what to do, I don't usually like it. But when I'm doing what I want to do, it's a totally different game, right? And we see that with our children, and we see that into adulthood. Dan also likes to say that everything's backwards. And at first I was like, no, it's just you, man. You're backwards. But I actually, he's not wrong. He's not wrong about so many things. And I think the last year and a half for me, the struggle has been, well, this can't be right. And this can't be this way. And what do you know what you're talking about? But the back of his baseball card shows that he has figured some things out in the last 30 years. So instead of questioning why it's wrong or why it won't work, at some point a few months back, I broke and I was like, I give up. I'm riding too many saddles with one ass. And Let's be clear, I have a big ass, but it's still one saddle, right? You just can't spread yourself so thin. You're not doing any good anywhere. And so I threw up the white flag and I said, I give up. You're right. I'm doing too much in too many places. I'm not doing any of it well. I give up. You're right. And then please, I hope that wasn't on recording because he doesn't need to hear that he's right. Like he knows he's right, but he is right. And so it's this trying to trust. Sometimes it feels like blind faith, but like all faith is relatively blind, I think. And just trust the process and just be like, I can keep doing what I've always done and I'll keep getting what I always got. Or I can approach everything differently. I've been given this opportunity to do work in a completely different way that is super uncomfortable, very confusing, and I feel like I'm doing it wrong more than I'm doing it right. But a year and a half in of not giving up, that's it, just not dying and not giving up. I think I'm making progress. And so I don't know if you all got something out of that, but it has definitely been not boring.
That's awesome. Well, as we wrap things up, I'd love to ask one final question of you all, and that is just simply about redeeming work and how work has been redeemed in your life over the past year and a half. Tamar.
I think for me, I look at work in a whole new way. I used to, get ready to wind down on a Sunday night and just feel that anxiety in my chest and just, ugh. And I would actually open my emails in advance so that it wasn't as tough to take in on a Monday morning and just knowing what's coming at you and to have the opportunity to learn from everything you do. And that's encouraged, right? To make mistakes at full speed and just to like shine in your own light, right? There's always been titles and people you have to report to, and work P2P is completely different. It's redeeming work. I don't look at work as work anymore. Like I can't there's no Monday in the last year and a half or year and a bit that I've woke up feeling sick to my stomach because I'm going to get yelled at by someone or I'm going to get in trouble or, there's too many emails to handle. And that's a really cool feeling. And to be able to use my creativity here is just like it blows my mind. And just I feel like I'm finally at that point, like Alysse said, right, that happened to her at the end of last year, where I'm just embracing this and I'm like, okay, I gotta give up on these old ideas. So just the whole way I look at work is different. And I think that it's just a whole lot more fun.
I just want to jump in on the yelling part because there actually has been quite a bit of yelling, at least in my experience, but it's a different kind of yelling. I would like to clarify. It's
Yeah.
a yelling of passion or fighting for
Yeah.
something. It's a different type of yelling. And so I just wanted to jump in on that. And I'm sure I have been one of the yellers because, as we all know, I naturally project and I can't help myself.
Libby, how about you?
I think um having a boss like Dan and working for a company the way that he runs his company, it just makes you excited to work. And it doesn't make me excited to work in the sense that I feel like I should be working all the time. I just he wants to run his business the way that normal people think. They just are too afraid to do it. If it's whether it's push pull or making sure you definitely shut off so that you go do take care of your personal life or not being afraid to make mistakes. He just the things he does are very logical, and the kind of the rules that we live by aren't crazy. They're just things that aren't typical in a corporate setting. And it's just really refreshing to work for someone and with people, with a team like this where um, we just collectively want um to like what we're doing and and do a good job.